Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of Scott's Selections here on April 4th. Sorry about the voice, but I've been a little bit sick the last couple of days. Finally, my voice gave out a little bit. But show must go on as we are here on April 4th. And just to recap quickly what happened on April 3rd, DePaul was not able to cover yesterday after, I don't even know if, I guess a bad beat hypothetically, even though, they blew an 11-point lead at the half. We had 5.5. So that's always a bad sign in an elimination game. Then it went to overtime. And then DePaul up, I believe it was 8 with about 56 seconds left, and a free throw at the line. Gets a technical foul from the bench. South Florida hits both free throws. Then DePaul turns it over on the inbound, and they miss about half their free throws. And, yeah, they end up winning by 4. Which is even worse because if the ball went out of bounds off South Florida with like a second left, they would have fouled anyway. But it is what it is. We end up losing. But as I look at the board today, just as a quick, brief introduction, I am not going to have a play of the day today. Not because of what's happened in the last week or so. I'm just not exactly enamored with today's card. I had a couple of leans, which I will be sharing. But people have been saying in the comment section some videos that they think my videos might be a little bit too long, which is understandable because originally my videos used to be about 5 minutes and now they're about 20. So what I will be doing in the future is I think I'm just going to be giving out my leans and I just won't go into as much detail. I'll just say the team or the total that I like and we will figure it out. Yeah, nice to see you, Don. How's it going, Big X? Terry, yeah. Definitely the wrong side but of a streak. But, you know, it's about the ebbs and flows of gambling. You can't let this stuff deter you. If you've been gambling as long as I have, or just in general, you understand that you're not going to win them all and that you have to try to survive through the poor runs and that everything will balance itself out eventually. As we started off 13-4, I believe. Now we're 13-10. It is what it is. You lose 6 straight every now and then, but you've seen how hot we can get and that we have gotten so far in the show. So we expect to regain our previous success as the season continues to reach the early stages. And we still get a lot of time left in baseball, so I'm not really worried about it. But it definitely would have been better off if we got off to a better start to baseball season. But it is what it is. But as I said before, there is no play of the day today based on the card itself. However, I already uploaded my MLB Twitter play of the day, so check that out as that game will be starting in about 10-15 minutes. But I'll probably upload another baseball play if I end up seeing any value on there or if I like any live movements in particular. But that's going to do it for the actual intro. Now we're just going to actually dive into some games. Start with the NCAA. We have Marshall versus Green Bay. Marshall laying 5.5 at home. Lean to Marshall. It's a championship game. Green Bay is a lot better at home than they are on the road. Don't play much defense. I like Marshall in that one. Lipscomb in Texas. I said Lipscomb would win the NIT before the tournament started, and Lipscomb's now in the championship game. Lean to Lipscomb as well as the under in that game as Texas will try to slow the game to a crawl. A little bit skeptical of Texas knowing how the coach Shaka Smart has been linked to UCLA, and that's a potential distraction that you don't need going into a championship game. So I lean to Lipscomb and the under in that one as I lean to Marshall and the under in that game as well. In baseball, some of these games already started, but somebody reached out to me on Twitter and asked what I liked about the early games because I wasn't going to get the video off in time. I told them I liked the Tigers and Kansas City over 7.5. I liked the Mets money line as well as the over 6.5 in that one. I like the under in the Yankee game. I like the over in the Red Sox game. I like the first 5 under in the Toronto-Cleveland game. In terms of full game, both bullpens are not great. So if you like second half overs, I would recommend looking into that one for the Indians game. I like the Reds winning that one at a small underdog price. I like the over in the Atlanta-Chicago game as well as a lean to Atlanta money line. And I like the Rangers money line against Harvey and the Angels in that game. Oh, yeah, Terry, it's fine. It is what it is. I'm willing to embrace the fact that some people might hide or delete picks on about that. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. I'll move on to whatever's in store in the future. It is what it is. You understand what I'm going through after 50 years of doing this. I feel like the leans itself and the bets have made sense. I just feel like we haven't gotten the breaks that we got in the beginning of this series in the last week or so, but they'll all even out eventually, so it's no big deal. Moving on to, so that goes over the baseball leans and the college basketball leans. Now to move over to the NBA. Milwaukee laying 5. I personally like Philadelphia plus the points if Embiid plays. If Embiid is not playing, I'd lean to Milwaukee, but if he is playing, which he's expected to, I'd lean to Philadelphia at home plus the 5. Lean to the over in the Sacramento-Cleveland game. Both teams have nothing to play for, but they both still have solid offense and play pretty much no defense. So I like the over in that one. And I lean to Golden State minus the 13. As for the total, I'd lean to a first half over instead of a full game. I think 228 is too high for the Lakers, who are pretty much missing all their key pieces on offense. So I would lean towards Golden State minus the 13 and the first half over. And just a brief look at some hockey. I have a personal play already on the Islanders winning. I have them minus 1.5 at plus 220, but money line also makes sense. Playing the Panthers, Islanders are still competing hypothetically with the Capitals for first place in that division. Florida's been eliminated from the playoffs, and their star goalie, Roberto Luongo, is officially not playing today, and their backup is currently 0-3. I think there's value on the Islanders in that one to get the job done. One thing to keep in mind, just in basketball and the NHL, some games matter for some teams and some teams don't, and some games don't. I know this is kind of common sense, but just reiterating, some teams are fighting for seeding or even playoff spots, while other teams are just packing it in and waiting for the end of the season. Or if you're the 76ers, you're resting key players like they did with Embiid for the road, the 3-game road series they had last week just to save them for the playoffs. So keep that in mind when you're looking at NBA lineups, as some players might rest others and some teams just might not care as they've already packed it in for the offseason knowing they have nothing to play for, while other teams still have something to hypothetically achieve. So I think Golden State and the Lakers fits that billing where the Lakers have nothing to play for, and it's actually a bigger incentive for them to lose to try to improve their draft stock, while Golden State, after beating the Nuggets in their last game, still haven't locked up the official 1 seed in the Western Conference. I think Golden State's going to smack them. As much as I wanted to make that the play of the day, I really just couldn't because Golden State has struggled on the road, and they tend to take their foot off the gas in some situations. But in terms of my favorite 3 lanes, I think I'm going to do this from now on. In addition to giving the leans, I'll give my top 3 just so people know what I'm the biggest on, and I end up betting a decent amount of my leans anyway. So my 3 favorite leans today are going to be on the Golden State Warriors minus 13. It's going to be on Lipscomb plus 1.5 against Texas, because I said that they would win the NIT before the actual tournament, and now they're in the final. So I'm not going to go against them now. And my third play was originally the Royals and Tigers over 7.5. That game's already started. It's 2-1 in the top of the third, and the Royals have first and third with 1 out. So that doesn't really count, but on Twitter I reached out that was one of my favorite leans. So that doesn't really help you now. But overall, I'd say the 2 leans that I have left that I really like today are the Golden State Warriors minus 13, as well as Lipscomb plus 1.5. There will probably be another MLB Twitter play. There's already one uploaded to my Twitter account. So if you're interested in getting that before that officially starts, you can look into that accordingly. But there should be another play today coming up. And I tried to make this video a lot shorter. I'm going to try to make future videos somewhere less than 10 minutes, as some people have been complaining that the videos have been gotten too long. And I understand that criticism, and I will keep that in mind moving forward. But just to reiterate, there is going to be no play of the day, as I don't think there's anything that's really worth using as a premium play. And we will be moving forward. Yeah, Thomas, I already covered that. Yeah, I mentioned to Terry before it happens. You get some bad runs. I actually don't even know what the players on the DePaul bench even did. Anytime you see a scrub who's not in the game in crunch time and overtime, that costs South Florida 2 free throws, which ended up paying a difference as the spread was 5.5 and DePaul won by 4. Definitely was an issue, but it is what it is. But since you're joining us late, Thomas, there is no play of the day, but I already have my baseball Twitter pick uploaded, and there probably will be a second one today. But that's going to do it for this installment of Scott Selections for April 4th. And I hope that all of you have, very profitable Thursday. Have a good day, everybody.